Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So this is the final war of season 22. So war 12, ASR is going up against ISO8A. And well, to be fair, the positions of the both alliances are kind of locked in. So ASR still decided to push quite hard for the win because we wanted to have a perfect 12-0 season. Realistically, our only task this war was to clear the map, and as long as we did that, we were pretty much locked in the first place. And so I will, as per usual now, go on path 1. First fight's Dragon Man. Actually scared me a tiny bit because I don't think I had faced Dragon Man there. And yeah, so I did apply like a small health and attack boost. I did apply the large champion boost. I'm going to bring in Torch against this Dragon Man. And I was slightly worried about this fight, but this fight actually is going to go absolutely perfectly. There's going to be a bit of drama later on, and I do have a very, very exciting boss fight, which, well, we're going to see how that goes. But before that, there's definitely going to be Jesus take the wheel kind of moments, and then there's going to be some steady quaking, and then there's going to be the boss fight. So anyways, this Dragon Man, I just purposely let him hit my block consistently. I get a debuff, so I get a willpower heal, and he's just melting, man. I had such a huge stack of smolders, and we could see his health just disappear so rapidly. It was very simple, very straightforward fight. I don't know why I was worried, but as they say, better safe than sorry. Plus the off-season is coming, so I did use that 3-minute boost. Now this fight again, I didn't take serious at all. It's Phoenix in my head. It's Phoenix. Who is afraid of Phoenix, right? And obviously, I was also doing these war fights straight after my stream, and I'm not gonna lie, and I don't promote smoking at all, and I wish as many people would stay away from it as possible. But at this point, I already had went downstairs, and I had my after stream cigarette, and I was just kind of like nonchalant, casually doing these fights because I thought as soon as the Human Torch against Dragon Man fight is gonna be done, the rest of it is easy. Luckily, I still had that indestructible boost on because we can see that I did get tagged here because I didn't keep an eye on masochism timer, and I actually end up getting tagged here for a 19k crit. Now, if those initial 3 hits would have actually counted, I would have been in very, very thick waters. So at this point, I was like, okay, yes, I need to pay a bit more attention to that masochism timer and everything else that is happening. She does have a huge stack of furies here as well. And Phoenix hanging in there. Phoenix is hanging in there. So I'm going to drop another heavy attack. Thanks to infections, she didn't heal up at all, and she dies quickly. And I still hadn't learned my lesson. So I was playing relatively sloppy. I don't know, part of it was the relief that ASR has had such an amazing season or whatever. I just felt confident. And I believe I have done Stealth with SpiderMan on this node as well. But as it turned out, my memory failed me because the fight that I had done him on was actually the power suppression node in section 2. And I actually hadn't fought him just about here. And I realized that as I was entering the fight. As we can see, I didn't even heal up to 100%, which is the first mistake. And at this point, I'm still just casually playing with my shoulder against the wall outside, enjoying the evening, enjoying my evening cigarette. And in about 20 seconds, this fight goes, bam, pray to Jesus. So here I lost my indestructibility boost because I got tagged. I'm doing a relatively good job managing my hit count and not giving him pretty much any furies here. He got the first one just now, but I'm still quite confident. But this fight definitely turns out quite dodgy, to say the least. So he waits here again, so he trips another combo in me. Luckily, not too much of that crit, but at this point, I immediately spit out a cigarette, and I was kind of like, oh god, don't die, come on, don't die. And that was just kind of like racing through my head the rest of the fight. And to be fair, to my credit, past this point, I kind of pulled myself together. You can see that I actually managed to get level 2 without giving him any additional furies. And yes, the fight is kind of locked in. I got that last away charge out of the guy, and he's at 4%, and I'm just gonna drop another heavy attack, and the fight is over. It's definitely a lot more sloppy than ideally it would have been, and yeah, I'm not gonna comment on it too much. I didn't play my best. I did take it too lightly and nearly died for it. Thankfully, I didn't. Now, I did check whether I meant to take that Havoc fight or not, and I actually could have taken it because the assignment for that was Warlock, but by the time I checked back, the Havoc was dead. So I didn't do that fight, and now we're off straight to day 2, where one of my fights got nicked this time. I was scheduled to do that Mr. Fantastic, but as I was coordinating with everybody else, because I wanted to make sure that the rest of the nodes are clear and I can basically jump straight to the boss, somebody exacted a revenge from the previous war and took that Mr. Fantastic. So I only have 2 fights here in section 2. I do have a mini boss, which is absolutely jam-packed stacked Man-Thing. And past that point, we will have a boss fight. Now, if you are of more sensitive disposition, and if you do not enjoy Quake's playstyle, then you can surely wind forward a few minutes, because Quake is going to take next 3 fights, one of whom is going to be, well, quite long, because it's going to be a really, really stacked Man-Thing mini-boss. So either way, the first fight is Wigger. Don't care. Quake shuts that down. Captain Marvel movie. She's not a stubborn defender, and I can fully Quake her, and all is very simple and straightforward. Not much to worry about here. Even if I do mess up some, she's not in her binary, so she doesn't do that much damage. There's a chance she's going to place an armor break on me, which is going to heal me back up, so I'm really not worried at all whatsoever in this fight. The Wigger has been shut down completely. It's not even coming back. And it's only a matter of time till Captain Marvel movie is gonna go down. So yeah, this fight's very easy, very chill, very simple. Nothing to kind of like stress about there. Nothing that makes this fight any problem whatsoever for Quake. Just maintain consistent weights and look at the opponent's health melt and laugh in the face of the frustration that you can imagine the opponent would have trying to strike you 79,000 times and not landing a single hit. So we have minute and a half in the fight. The 6-star rank 3 Captain Marvel movie is at like 9%, one more set, so basically minute and 40 seconds for this fight. Drop a heavy attack there because I knew she's gonna die, and the job's done. Now Guillotine 2099, another 6-star champion. This time we have buffet node active right there, so I will actually do the entire fight with just parry heavy because I will avoid triggering buffet at all whatsoever. Now there is a way you can play around it when you do trigger dexterity whilst she has concussion on. So ideal rotation if you want to bypass buffet and still evade fully would be to get about 6 aftershocks on Guillotine 2099, and then after the stun expires, because the stun would be shorter and concussion duration would still be longer than that stun, that is the time to actually trigger that dexterity. But just to keep things simple, just to keep things light and breezy, I'm just going to flat out go for heavy parry. As you can see, I'm not taking all that much damage, just tiny fraction of my health, not worried at all whatsoever. And Guillotine 2099 is a relatively fragile champion. That's one of the things that most people don't mention because it's quite often offset by her healing and lifesteal abilities, but she really doesn't have the largest health pool at all. So even as a 6-star champion right now, we can see that she goes down pretty much in a minute right here, whilst I'm under small attack boost, large champion boost. So no suicide master involved either. So yeah, it's a very quick, very simple fight for Quake because the health pool is just tiny. And now we have the marathon Quake fight, and this one is a bit tricky. Now, another key aspect here, when you're fighting Man-Things, and this is the kinetic, no, this is not aspect of evolution, improved power gain, and yada, yada, yada things. Another thing to keep in mind in fighting Man-Things, you can approach these fights normally in 2 different ways. Whether you don't let the Man-Thing touch you at all and you fully avoid everything, and then obviously he cannot convert that dexterity buff into postural into poison later on because he never makes contact. Or if you do heavy parry man things, then you need to make sure that you do not have the dexterity buff active at all, ever, because if you do, then he has an option of nullifying that and basically poisoning you, and in this case likely having Mystic Dispersion at 5, and then a ton of bad things can happen. So the goal in this fight is to stay calm, maintain focus, and never trigger dexterity. And to do that, obviously, you only evade with heavy attack here, and then parry all the other incoming attacks. Now, you do take some chip damage, as we can see. He has chipped me down to 72%, but we have overtaken him in health already. And even though Man-Thing definitely has absolutely huge health pool, we're winning this fight. The willpower heal is actually significantly slowing down the fight as well. But quite honestly, the 5-minute timers have been such a blessing for these kind of like longer Quake fights, where previously you would be in danger of timing out, or you would have been forced to maybe put bigger attack boosts or use suicide masteries or respec your masteries to max out glass cannon and greater strength and things like that. Now with 5-minute timers, there's not much worry at all. We can see that we have 3 minutes left on the clock. He's at 26% something, so I'm well on the target. Within 2 minutes, I have dealt 80+% damage, so I wouldn't have timed out either way, but this would have been one of those fights where you're kind of cutting it close and you want to make sure that you don't have to rely on kind of like second splitting measurements. And yeah, 5-minute timers, I do like them in Alliance War. I wish they would come to Alliance Quest, to be honest, as well, especially against like mini bosses and stuff, because timeouts there are a very frequent thing. But now that Man-Thing is gone, Man-Thing is done, and Man-Thing has been finished. We're gonna go up against boss, so I thought, and I hope you guys agree, that a perfect finish of the season, where ASR has done so exceptionally well, would be to get a boss kill. And in this time we have Sasquatch as a boss. Now I'm going to activate some of these science boosts. To be honest, it's a bit of a waste because they really don't matter all that much in this type of matchup. But I'm also going to activate the Indestructible 3 boost, which definitely is going to be helpful, which is going to help me once again. But again, I'm just trying to get that solo in. It's been a while since I have taken the boss, and I don't want to drop this one. And again, I would prefer to finish the Alliance War season as strong as ASR has done it overall, going 12-0. So I did have one death this season, which was a very silly, arrogant death where I took a fight that I shouldn't have. But other than that, I have had an absolutely excellent season, which I'm very happy about. And here we can see that that Indestructibility boost already got wasted, but at least it did the job. My health is still looking quite good. I'm not too worried. And the whole strategy for this fight is let him hit my block as much as possible and get those smolders up, not trigger dexterity, and just keep an eye when he goes in his Wrath of Tenerak mode, and then try and stay away from him. And that's pretty much it. Now I'm going to keep my level 3 in my back pocket for the most of the fight, just as kind of like a safety card. Whenever I do feel that I'm cornered, whenever I'm going to feel that I'm in a tight spot, I'm going to hold on to it. Other than that, the fight plan again is very, very simple. Just do medium, light, medium combos to make sure every hit pretty much does incinerate him. And we have the pre-fight active, so we have a ton of power sting damage happening. Smolders are just climbing up and up as the fight keeps going on. And we can see that at this point we're in a relatively good position. He's at 39%, 38%. I have 29 smolders. But I don't ever like if Wrath of Tenerak doesn't quite trigger early on, because that means the duration of it is extended. And this time Wrath of Tenerak triggered when he was at 10. So that means it's going to be quite long. And I also decided this is a good time to use my level 3 because I was in the corner, because he still had quite long time left on that Wrath of Tenerak when he goes in his beast mode with his huge block penetration, with his unstoppables. So it would have been hard to bottle my way out of it, and that certainly did the job. We can see that now at this point, one quick intercept later, the Wrath of Tenrak has expired, and yeah, we're good to go. We're good to kind of like try and finish this fight out. Obviously, needless to say, he does get a huge amount of regen, but no flames can mitigate that and even reverse that. It could be argued that I might have been better off going in without the pre-fight ability, just to reverse that regen even further. But I thought, if I'm going to get to this point in the fight, I'm going to be dealing significant amount of damage with my no flames, that I'm going to be able to outdamage that regen, plus obviously mitigate it somewhat with the no flames, or even reverse it if I'm lucky. So everything's working pretty much perfect at the moment. He is building up to a whole bunch of charges again, but we're going to finish him off before he enters the mode again. And yeah, that is it. A Human Torch solo on a huge Sasquatch boss. ASR goes 12-0, locks in the first place in the season. And I hope you guys enjoy the war videos and can't wait to upload the next season. See ya. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information